Hello, dear friends. Welcome to this program, our Moments with God, our moments with the Word of God, our moments with the love of God, our moments with the mercy and compassion of God, as well as our moments with the holy ones, the saints of God. And not to forget also to spend our moments with our inner self, with our spirit, with our spiritual being, where God abides and His love can be found. As you know, these days I am traveling around and I am making use of the services of other SVD fathers or others who I can get hold of to either interview them or also to request them to give their reflections on the daily mass readings. And like last week, today, once again, for this second Sunday of the year, I have Father Naveen Rebello, and I turn it over to him to give his reflection for today.
Dear friends, welcome to the Moments with God. We are in the second Sunday of the ordinary time, and today's gospel reading, we have the beautiful story or the narrative of the wedding at Cana. Now, this particular narrative is very important in the Gospel of John because this is the first sign, first activity of Jesus' kingdom ministry. And this particular activity inaugurates his ministry in the Gospel of John, just like the Sermon on the Mount in the Gospel of Matthew, or Jesus going to the synagogue in the Gospel of Luke, or Jesus going to the synagogue and performing an exorcism in the Gospel of Mark. There are 7 signs in the Gospel of John, and wedding at Cana being the first sign inaugurates the other 6 signs in the Gospel of John. Now, what is the message that this particular event is trying to give us on this Sunday? As I said, this is the first sign, and at the end of the sign, it is said that people saw Jesus' glory, and Jesus received this glory from the Father. In other words, this event teaches that Jesus always tried to reveal the Father through his life, through his words and deeds. And therefore, on this Sunday, the challenge is for us that whether we reveal God, whether we reveal the Father, whether we reveal that we are the disciples of Christ through our life, through our words, and through our actions. Secondly, John doesn't tell us that this is a miracle, but he tells us that this is a sign. And therefore, I want to share with you what is the difference between a miracle and a sign. In the Synoptic Gospels, we find so many miracles. People come to Jesus when they are sick or when they lack something. And at the end of the passage or at the end of the event, Jesus supplies to their needs, or Jesus gives them back or returns their health. We find that between the want and then the supply, Jesus intervenes. And this is a miracle. But we have the wedding at Cana as a sign. What is the meaning of it? It also begins like a miracle. There is something lacking. The wine was lacking. Jesus intervenes because Mary intervened. And then we have the superior or quality wine being there. But most importantly, it becomes a sign because this particular event reveals who Jesus is. It reveals the true identity of Jesus. And the true identity of Jesus is that Jesus is the messianic bridegroom. And how do we know? We know through the words of the steward who says, usually people serve the good wine first and then they serve the inferior wine when the guests are drunk. But you have kept the good wine until the end. In other words, in a Jewish marriage, it was the responsibility, duty of the bridegroom to supply the wine, the quality wine for the wedding. And in this wedding at Cana, which is in fact a symbolic wedding between the divinity and humanity, because Jesus has come to initiate this covenantal relationship, that Jesus reveals himself as the messianic bridegroom because according to the Isaianic prophecy, he supplies the so-called the well-aged superior and quality wine to the people present at the wedding. And what does this tell us? That we are called by John the Evangelist not to become miracle seeking generation or sign seeking people, but rather to seek Jesus who performs miracles, who performs signs. And therefore, when we seek Jesus and we have the presence of Jesus with us, we do not lack anything in our life. And finally, the third most important thing in this story is the presence of Our Lady. And we are in this beautiful grotto of Our Lady. And therefore, whenever there was a need at the wedding at Cana, when the wine ran short, Mary intervened. She said to Jesus, "They have no wine." Often in our lives, when we run short of something, or whenever there is a pain or difficulties, we find four types of people. The first type of people are those who say, "I don't care." They just ignore people. Or there are people, second type of people, who are highly critical, who ask many questions. Why this so? Why that so? Thirdly, there are people who are very sympathetic with their words, but they will never help out with their hands. And there are the fourth type of people who are actually empathetic, sensitive, like Our Lady, who was very sensitive to the need of the young couple at the wedding at Cana. And therefore, this particular event teaches us that we too are called to be sensitive and empathetic to the needs of people who are around us. So, on this Sunday, the wedding at Cana invites us, first of all, to reveal God through our life, words, and action. Secondly, to seek Jesus, who performs signs and miracles, and not to seek miracles and signs in themselves. And third, like Mary, to become sensitive and empathetic to the needs of people around us. I wish you all a very happy and joyful Sunday. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Father Naveen. That was a wonderful reflection, and I'm so glad that you also brought the role of Mary, who always intervenes for us as she did at that time. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the very best. And if you have not just subscribed to this channel, you may please do it now. Thank you.